With Purim approaching, it's been almost a year since the COVID pandemic sent us to our desks in front of computers as our schools, workplaces, and synagogues shut down. And this caused us to have a lot less embodied experience in life. We sit at a table, stare at a screen. I myself thought that as a rabbi, I would be spending a lot more time sitting with people in a room, singing or learning. And instead, I'm spending a lot of time sitting in front of a computer screen. And I know that sometimes hours can pass and I've become just a brain and a pair of eyes and maybe some fingers to type. And I really forget about my body so that I stand up and find myself very stiff from having hardly moved. And this less embodied experience can be very detrimental to our prayer life. Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi wrote this book, The Gates of Prayer, and talked about in the beginning how prayer needs to be an embodied experience to be fully felt, fully realized as a spiritual practice. He talks about how the Siddur really was initially, the prayers were a reflection of some psalmist uttering these very genuine responses to inspiration. But ultimately, as it became codified, it became this kind of more what he calls freeze-dried experience where we just have words on a page that we are meant to replicate. And it's not such an embodied experience of spirituality and prayer. He describes what an embodied experience can be this way. He says, sometimes there is a particular moment in taking a lick of an ice cream cone when you are deeply enjoying it, and you want to be able to say, you know, God, you gave me these taste buds, and I want you to know how much I like this ice cream through them. Do you get the idea? This is a whole other way of doing spirituality. It's not way up there or out there. It's a lot more in the body. The heart needs to begin to feel. So how can we encourage our hearts to begin to feel? We need to come back into the body in order to have more genuine prayer experiences. We might even at this very moment practice just closing our eyes, taking ourselves away from the screen, just tuning into our environment. What are the sounds around you? As you take a deep breath in, what do you smell? How does the air feel coming in and out of your body? How is your body sitting right now? What position are you in? Just returning. Can even take a moment to stretch, turning the head this way and that, maybe rolling your head on your neck. With your eyes closed, you can also stretch the eyeballs, looking as far as you can left, as far as you can right, up and down, all around. Even besides for stretching, you can take a moment to do something as simple as taking a sip of water, replicating the experience that Rabbi Schachter Shalomi talks about with the ice cream. Just taking a moment to really delight in just a sip of water. Maybe feeling the sensation of wetness in your mouth and the feeling of water going down your esophagus. And really delighting in the fact that we have a body that can enjoy such things as drinking water. If you're able to, you might even take a second to stand up and not take these kinds of standing and sitting in for granted when we're doing prayer as well. Really feeling the body, how it stretches out, how your legs are able to move, how your arms might be able to move. And maybe stretching them out, getting the blood flowing a little bit more, even now, but also when we do prayer. It's so important to have this embodied experience so that we can truly thank God for the divine bodies that we have been given, the ability to experience the world as a whole person and not just as a brain with eyes staring at a screen. And I hope that this Shabbat, you'll be able to feel the embodied experiences of lighting candles, seeing the flame, smelling the smells of Shabbat cooking, tasting the wine and the challah, and really have this embodied experience that can bring you to greater heights of spirituality. Shabbat Shalom.